Tell me about this reel from Iceland, the Unarson Invictus. What's the deal with this drag inertia? Because this got an actual spring on it.
This is a very unusual reel. We've heard about these Unarson reels from our European friends, and everyone swears that this is the greatest two-handed reel going.
It's the hot Atlantic salmon.
Yeah, Atlantic salmon guys just love this reel. It's got a very, very unusual drag setup, and we tested two of their Unarson reels. This one and the +9. This is an Invictus. This is the +9. The actual +7 would be fine for bonefish. These are very good reels, one of the best reels we used in the test. But this one, the Invictus, is a very interesting drag setup because the drag, when you set the drag, like I get it set on 3 or 4 pounds, I got it set on 4 pounds right now, but I'm going to pull on it. And look at this, it starts out very slow and then it builds up to the drag pressure and then releases. There's a big spring inside here. Inside the drag there's a great big spring, and it gives you a lot of cushion. So when the fish takes it and the fish starts to run, you've got some cushion there before it starts pulling hard on the drag, which is so important with Atlantic salmon. Atlantic salmon has it's very easy to rip the fly out of the mouth with Atlantic salmon. Totally different than a trout. You know, when I first started fishing for Atlantic salmon, I couldn't believe how many I was losing because I just ripped the flies right out of their mouths. But so this way, the reel, it's got a lot of cushion there, so you got a lot of cushion before the drag actually starts running. So we got a great chance to try all these drags when we were fishing for these big rainbows at Jurassic Lake, and we had a lot of fish that ran. Man, I don't know, we had several ran way into the backing, 100 yards into the backing, and rapidly. One of the things I noticed, and I really like about this reel, this Unarson, this is the 9 Plus, is look how wide the spool is. It's very easy to wind line back in and never get it jammed up. The slightly smaller size, the 7 Plus, is probably the better 8-weight size. This is more of a 9-10 weight reel, but even with an 8, I had lots and lots of room on it. But I do like the wider spool reels, you know, and that's one of the reasons I like the Nautilus a lot. It's got a little wider spool, very easy, you know.
That was pretty wide.
But there's another good wide spool, the Galvin. The Galvin is an awfully nice reel, and it has a wide range of drag also, a very smooth drag. The Galvin, a lot of these other reels, is a real sleeper, I think, in our test because that's a very, very good reel, you know. We couldn't take all of the reels to Argentina with us, and I wish we had taken the Galvin. That's one we didn't actually get to fish. Anyway, we're getting down to brass tacks now, and that is, when we fished these reels, what did we like? What did we think? What did we think were the best reels? You know, I don't know. I mean, I like a lot of them, but what do you think, Jamie? What were your favorite reels in this test when you were fishing?
You know, I like the ones with nice handles, and the big handles were like the Nautilus, the Hatch, the T-Bore.
Yeah.
Those are probably my top 3.
Yeah. Well, and the Unarson too. This has a nice big handle.
Both the Unarsons I really liked.
Yeah, so they both got big handles on that.
I mean, you're kind of talking about Harvard or Yale. You can't really go wrong, so it just comes down to sound. Yeah. Smoothness, I thought the Nautilus was the smoothest.
Yeah.
I like the sound of the T-Bore the best, for sure.
Yeah, there's nothing that beats this sound. Yeah, that's music to my ears when a fish is running hard. But you know, of all the reels I used all week, I like the Nautilus best of all. This NVG8. This is a 1011 frame with a G8 spool. This thing is so smooth. I could grab the handle. The handle was fantastic. It reels in very easily. It has almost no resistance reeling in, and it has this absolutely the smoothest drag of any reel in the test, I think. It's just amazingly smooth. And I like the width of the spool too. I could reel the line on without getting it jammed up. I just like everything about it. It's nice and light too. This is a light reel. I mean, in comparison to a lot of the others. You know, this reel weighs 8.1 ounces. Okay, so now the Everglades, the T-Bore Everglades, is another one of my favorite reels. But this is heavier. This is like 8.7 ounces. You know, but for me, that's my number 2 reel right there.
Over the T-Bore, huh?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think so, over the T-Bore. The reason I like these wider reels, I had a little problem with the T-Bore getting jammed up. When I'm reeling line in, it's a fairly narrow width spool, and I'd be winding real fast and getting all the line built up on one side, and I get it jammed up, you know. And if you're not paying attention, level winding it with your little finger back and forth, it'll get jammed up. Otherwise, I sure like the drag sound and whatnot. But anyway, that's my top 3 right there. 1, 2, 3. How about you?
Well, I actually like the Tibor Spey, which is like the old Tibor quick change.
Yeah, sure.
Because in travel, you know how sometimes the monofilament gets in between here.
Yeah.
So that happened to this reel, or one of the Tibors, and it was a bummer because I wanted to rig up and go fish, and all I'd have to do with this reel or that reel is just take off the spool and do it. But I had to go find another hook to undo it. I mean, I didn't have a penny in my pocket, so I had to take another hook and undo it, and I had all the pieces, and then I fixed it. But by that time, you guys were already fishing.
Well, that is a big disadvantage with this Everglades, because the Everglades, you do have to unscrew this, take this off, and then you've got pieces lying around that could get lost. So that is a definite
with the quick change version, you can just easily do that, and you get the exact same sound as that. And the only way to get it now is in the Spey reels, unfortunately, because they got rid of that for the new Tibor Signature series, which I didn't like nearly as much. Yeah, we took one of the Signature series with us, but it just didn't pan out to be a very good reel, so we think this is a lot better all-around 8-weight reel, is the Everglades. So you like the Everglades. What else did you, what were your favorites? I mean, Nautilus would be my favorite.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
And then the Tibor, but with the quick change, which they don't offer anymore.
Okay. And then maybe one of the Inarsons.
You know, I like the Hatch, to be honest.
Okay.
I didn't notice that the jerky movement at all. I mean, it could have been because my rod was bouncing.
Sure. Well, we know the Hatch is a good reel, you know, and
I had luck with it.
And you know, people all over the world really like these reels. They've got a lot of adjustment too. It's one of the things. Hatch has a good wide range of adjustment. You know, it has drag adjustment 1.2 turns, 1.2 revolutions to go from ½ pound to 3 pounds, whereas the Nautilus has got a lot less adjustment. That does have less adjustment. You know, the Nautilus is like 0.7. Not even one full turn. 0.7. You know, around 3/4 of a turn from ½ pound to 3 pounds.
Could that possibly be an advantage if you're fighting a fish and you just real quick want to touch it?
I don't think so.
I mean, if you got to go all the way around, that's
I'd rather have more adjustment so I can fine tune it, because I want to fine tune it. You know, I might want to fine tune it between 1 pound and 1¼ pounds or whatever. You know, so that's why I like the ability to to fine tune it. You know, and you want the drag adjust not to be slipping around and slipping and sliding when you're fishing all day long, knocking it against your clothing, whatever. You don't want this to get knocked off. You know, that's one of the big disadvantages of the Tibor. The Tibor has the really solid detents in here. It just little clicks, click, 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 click. Once you get the Tibor set, man, it is set, and it is not going to get knocked off. Yeah.
I also like this Inarson. I mean, I don't think it really helped me hook any more fish. But it was kind of fun, just peeling off more line. It was that little spring in your step that, I don't know, it was different, and it was fun to fish.
Well, I can see that. I mean, this is the smaller size. We've got, here's a slightly larger Inarson that we'd use for, that would be more of a Spey size right there. But the guys that are using double-handed rods, this is a killer reel. I mean, I can see why all the guys in Europe say this is absolutely the best two-handed reel you can get your hands on. They're expensive, you know, but they're beautifully made, and I like the drag sound too. Listen to that. Next to the Tibor, it's got the best drag sound of any of them.
That was the only other thing I didn't like about both the Nautilus and Hatch, is when I had a fish on. Yeah. You know, at the Tibor, I could hear it, and you know, it was like a little hint that don't give it too much heat because it's already going bzzz, so I need to back it off. Where with these, you had to do it more with the feel of the rod, and I think that they could be a little louder for me.
Sure. Well, we've got a lot of good reels. We tested around 20 reels, and there are an awful lot of good reels out there for sure, you know. And some are just a little bit better than others. We think they're a little bit better than others. So if you're going to spend the money, might as well get the best.